TNT Radio Productions presents Clouds of Witness by Dorothy L. Sayers. Adapted for radio by Tristan Berlet. Directed by Tristan Berlet, Tyler Janess, and Brianna Lowe. Act 3. Mary Quite Contrary.
Do you require anything else, Inspector?
Not particularly. May I ask, what did you think of Captain Cathcart?
One did not see much of Monsieur Cathcart, but he was très gentil. He never failed to say bonjour, bourgeois, when he came in or out.
Did he get many visitors?
He received visitors sometimes. A gentleman in evening dress. One made card parties. I've never directed any ladies to his rooms. Except once, last February, when he had given a lunch party to some ladies très comme il faut, who brought with him his fiancée, une jolie blonde.
How much time did he spend in this apartment?
As far as I could tell, Monsieur Cathcart used the flat as a pied-à-terre, and often he would shut it up and go away for several weeks or months. He was un jeune homme très orange. He had never kept a valet, and Madame Leblanc, who happens to be the cousin of my late wife, kept his apartment clean. Madame Leblanc is very respectable. Oh, in fact, here she is. Madame Leblanc, this is the Inspector Parker. He is investigating the death of Captain Cathcart.
Oh, bonjour, Inspector.
Good afternoon, madame.
Oh, such a terrible thing this all is. I'm glad someone is trying to get justice for the man.
Did you like him?
Oh, Monsieur Cathcart was a charming young man, and very pleasant to work for. Very generous, and even took an interest in my famille. I was devastated to know that he was dead, and on the eve of his marriage to the daughter of the English milady.
Had you seen very much of her?
I'd seen Mademoiselle last year when she visited. I considered her très chanceux. Very few young men were as serious as Monsieur Cathcart, especially when they were so good-looking.
The concierge says he tended to use it as a secondary residence.
It is true that he would not always use his rooms, but he had the habit of letting him know when he would be at home, and then I would go to put the flat in order. He kept his things very tidy. He was not like English gentlemen in that respect, and I've known many of them who kept their affairs sans dessous. Monsieur Cathcart was always very well dressed. He was particular about his bath. He was like a woman for his toilet, the poor gentleman. And so, he is dead.
Oh, hello, Azores.
Oh, hello, Lord Peter.
Hello, Doctor. Come to see Mary?
Indeed, my lord.
Well, I'll show you up then.
How have you not caught that before, I cannot imagine. Ah, Doctor, have you never noticed, when analysing your patient's thermometer, that it was slightly wet before you used it?
Well, I didn't touch the thermometer.
What?
I felt more courteous to let a ladyship put the thermometer in herself.
You're a doctor. It's not your job to be courteous.
I thought in the circumstances.
Circumstances? What circumstances? That she happens to be a member of the aristocracy?
Well,
come along. There now, what did I tell you? All I can say is, if I had to depend on you people to save me from being murdered with arsenic, or that other stuff with the name like anemones, you know what I mean, that very attractive-looking man with the preposterous beard used to make away with his wife and mother-in-law, who was vastly the more attractive of the two, poor thing. I might be being cut up and analysed by Dr. Spilsbury now. Such a horrid, distasteful job he must have of it, poor man. And the poor little rabbits, too.
Well?
In my day, we called that kind of thing hysterics and naughtiness. We didn't let girls pull the wool over our eyes like that. I suppose you call it a neurosis, or a suppressed desire or reflex and coddle it. You might have let that silly child make herself really ill. You are all perfectly ridiculous, and no more fit to take care of yourselves than a lot of babies. Not but what there are plenty of poor little things in the slums that look after whole families and show more sense than the lot of you put together. I am very angry with Mary, advertising herself in this way, and she is not to be pitied.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Good afternoon. I have here a diamond cat which greatly resembles one which I perceived in your window. Could you possibly inform me what would be the value of such a cat?
But certainly, monsieur. The price of the cat is 5,000 francs. It is, as you perceive, made of the finest material. Moreover, it is the work of an artiste. It is worth more than the market value of the stones. It brings great good luck, especially at cards. Many ladies buy these little objects. Monsieur may rest assured that his cat is a cat of pedigree.
I suppose that such cats are everywhere obtainable in Paris.
No, monsieur. If you desire to match your cat, I recommend you do it quickly. Monsieur Briquet has only a score of these cats to begin with, and there are now only 3 left, including the one in the window. I believe that he will not make any more. To repeat a thing often is to vulgarize it. There will, of course, be other cats.
Do I understand you to say that cats such as this are only sold by Monsieur Briquet? That my cat originally came from this shop?
Undoubtedly, monsieur. It is one of our cats.
I would imagine, though, that it would be impossible to find out to whom this cat was originally sold.
If it was sold over the counter for cash, it would be difficult. But if it was entered in our books, it might not be impossible to discover if monsieur desired it.
I'm an agent of the British police, and it is of great importance that I should know to whom this cat originally belonged.
In that case, I shall do better to inform monsieur the proprietor.
You will understand, monsieur, that I can only inform you of the names and addresses of such purchasers of these cats as have had an account sent them. It is, however, unlikely that an object of such value was paid for in cash. Still, with rich Anglo-Saxons, such an incident may occur. We need to go back further than the beginning of the year, when these kits were made. The first purchase was on January 19th.
13 in total.
And there are still 3 kits in stock. The original number was 20, so that fur must have been sold for cash. If monsieur wishes to verify the matter, we can consult the daybook.
We probably should.
Ah, here's the final one. August 9th.
So that's January 31st, February 6th, May 17th, and that one. Well, thank you very much for your help, Monsieur. If anything else comes up, don't hesitate to contact me.
I am sorry that I could not be more helpful.
Well, there is one thing. Do you recognize this man?
I am sure he is not one of our regular customers, and I have a very good memory for faces. Give me a moment. Reconnais tout cet homme?
Mais oui, je l'ai vu, c'est monsieur-là. It is the Englishman who bought a diamond cat for the Julie Blonde.
Mademoiselle, I beseech you to do me the favor to remember all about it.
Parfaitement. It is not the face one would forget, especially when one is a woman. The gentleman bought a diamond cat and paid for it. No, I am wrong. It was the lady who bought it, and I remember now to have been surprised that she should pay like that at once in money, because ladies do not usually carry such large sums. The gentleman bought 2. He bought a diamond and tortoiseshell comb for the lady to wear, and then she said she must give him something, pour bonheur, and asked me for something that was good for cards. I showed her some jewels more suitable for a gentleman, but she saw those cats and fell in love with them. She was sure it would bring him good hands. She asked me if it was not so, and I said, undoubtedly, and Monsieur may be sure never to play without it. And he laughed very much, and promised always to have it upon him when he was playing.
And how was she, this lady?
Blonde, Monsieur, and very pretty, rather tall and svelte, and very well dressed. A big hat and dark blue costume. Quionque? Voyon. Yes, she was a foreigner.
English?
I do not know. She spoke French very, very well. Almost like a French person. But she had just a little suspicion of accent.
About how long ago was this?
The diamond cat sold with the diamond comb. I remember it from the book. It was the one in February.
That settles it.
Monsieur does not appear content.
I am more grateful than I can say for your very great kindness, but I will frankly confess that, of all the 12 months in the year, I had rather had been any other.
Would you please come in, Inspector? His lordship has been expecting you, but has stepped out for a couple of minutes. Would you kindly come in and wait?
Ah, very good, Bunter.
Would you feel inclined to a cup of tea?
That would be very kind, Bunter. The glass blower's cat is bombstable.
I'm cheered to hear it. Had a good standing nap, old man.
What? Hello, Peter. What do you mean, nap? I got hold of the most important train of thought, and you put it out of my head. What was it? Cats.
You said the glass blower's cat is bombstable. It's a perfectly ripping word, but I don't know what you mean by it.
Bombstable? Oh, well, perhaps you're right. I may have dozed off. But, you know, I thought I'd just got the clue to the whole thing. I attached the greatest importance to that phrase, even now. No. Now I come to think of it, my train of thought doesn't seem to quite hold together. What a pity. I thought it was so lucid.
Oh, never mind. Just back.
Crossed last night. Any news?
Lots.
Good?
No.
I don't believe it. I'm damned if I'm going to believe a word of it.
A word of what?
Of whatever it is.
Oh, you'll have to believe it, Charles, as far as it goes. I don't say that Mary did shoot Cathcart, but she has lied again and again and again. She knows who did it. She was prepared for it. She's malingering and lying to keep the fellow shielded. And we shall have to make her speak.
If you can think that that woman had any hand in murdering Cathcart, I don't care what your evidence is, you... Hang it all, Wimsey, she's your own sister!
And Gerald is my brother. You don't suppose I'm exactly enjoying this business, do you? But I think we shall get along very much better if we try to keep our tempers.
I'm sorry. I can't think why I said that.
Best thing that we can do is look at the evidence in the face, however ugly. And I don't mind admitting that some of it's a positive gargoyle.
So, what's all this about Lady Mary?
Well, there was quite a fury about the lodge the day before I left. I got a hold of my mother later, and she said that she had caught my sister red-handed, stimulating her thermometer on a hot water bottle. And upon inspection of the bathroom, she found several empty bottles of ipecacuanha.
But why?
I don't know why. Yet. But what's worse, I got a letter yesterday from Sir James Lubbock. The stain on Mary's skirt was human. What's more, it was Cathcart's.
But... I've lost the thread on this bit.
Well, the skirt must have got stained the day Cathcart died, as that was the last day on which the party was out in the moors, and if it had been there earlier, Ellen would have cleaned it off. Afterwards, Mary strenuously resisted Ellen's efforts to take the skirt away, and made an amateurish effort to tidy up herself with soap. So I think we may conclude that Mary knew the stains were there and wanted to avoid discovery. She told Ellen the blood was from a grouse, which must have been a deliberate untruth.
Perhaps she only said, "Oh, one of the birds was a blade," or something like that.
I don't believe one could get a great patch of human blood on one's clothes like that and not know what it was. She must have knelt directly in it. It was 3 or 4 inches across. Now, on Wednesday night, everyone comes in and dines and goes to bed except Cathcart, who rushes out and stays out. At 11:50, the gamekeeper hears a shot which may very well have been the shot fired in the clearing where let's say the accident took place. The time also agrees with the medical evidence about Cathcart having already been dead 3 or 4 hours when he was examined at 4:30. At 3 a.m., Jerry comes home from somewhere or other and finds the body. As he is bending over it, Mary arrives in the most apropos manner from the house in a coat and cap and walking shoes. Now, what is her story? She says that at 3 o'clock she was awakened by a shot. Now, nobody else heard that shot. And we have the evidence of Mr. Pettigrew Robinson, who slept in the next room to Mary, with his window open according to his wife's immemorial custom, and heard no shot. According to Mary, the shot was loud enough to waken her on the other side of the building. It's odd, isn't it, that the person with his window open should swear so positively that he heard nothing of a noise loud enough to waken a healthy young sleeper next door? And in any case, if that was the shot that killed Cathcart, he can barely have been dead when my brother found him. And again in that case, how is there time for him to be carried up from the shrubbery to the conservatory?
We've been over all this ground. We agreed that we couldn't attach any importance to the story of the shot.
I'm afraid now we've got to attach a great deal of importance to it. Now, what does Mary do? Either she thought the shot...
There was no shot.
I know that, but I'm examining the discrepancies of her story. She said that she did not give the alarm because she thought it was probably only poachers. But if it was poachers, it would be absurd to go down and investigate. So then she explains that she thought it might be burglars. Now, how does she dress to go and look for burglars? What would you or I have done? I think we would have taken a dressing gown, a stealthy kind of pair of slippers, perhaps a poker or a stout stick, not a pair of walking shoes, a coat, and a cap of all things.
It was a wet night.
My dear chap, if it's burglars you're looking for, you don't expect to go and hunt them around the garden. Your first thought is that they're getting into the house, and your idea is to slip down quietly and survey them from the staircase or behind a dining room door. Anyhow, fancy a present-day girl who rushes around bareheaded in all weathers, stopping to embellish herself with a cap for a burglar hunt. Oh, damn it all, Charles, it won't wash, you know. And she walks straight off to the conservatory and comes upon the corpse exactly as if she knew where to look for it beforehand.
Peter.
Well, now, let's see. She sees Gerald stooping over Cathcart's body. What does she say? Does she ask what's the matter? Does she ask who it is? No. She exclaims, "Oh God, Gerald, you've killed him." And then she says, as if on second thoughts, "Oh, it's Dennis. What has happened? Has there been an accident?" Now, does that strike you as natural?
No, but it rather suggests to me that it wasn't Cathcart she expected to see there, but somebody else.
Does it? Rather sounds to me as if she was pretending not to know who it was. First she says, "You've killed him." And then, recollecting that she isn't supposed to know who he is, she says, "Why, it's Dennis."
In any case, then, if her first exclamation was genuine, she didn't expect to find the man dead.
No. No, we must remember that. The death was a surprise. Very well. Then Gerald sends Mary up for help. Now here comes something I discovered up at the lodge. I was bursting out of my bathroom in my usual breezy way when I caught myself a hell of a whack on that old chest on the landing, and the lid lifted up and shut down. Whack! That gave me an idea. I thought I'd have a squint inside. I got the lid up and was looking at some sheets and stuff that were folded up at the bottom. I heard a sort of gasp. And there was Mary staring at me as white as a ghost. She gave me a hell of a turn, by Jove, but nothing like the turn I'd given her. Well, she wouldn't say anything to me. She got hysterical and ran back to her room. But I'd seen something on those sheets.
What?
Silver sand.
Silver?
Do you remember those cacti in the greenhouse and the place where somebody put a suitcase or something down?
Yes.
Well, there was a lot of silver sand scattered about, the sort people stick around some kind of bulbs and things.
And that was inside the chest too?
Yes. Now, before she woke up Freddie and the Pettigrew Robinsons, there was a short amount of time in which she could stick something in that chest. Then what did she do next?
She locked herself in her room.
Yes! And shortly afterwards, she came down and joined the others in the conservatory. And it was at this point that everybody remembered noticing that she was wearing a cap and coat and walking shoes over pajamas and bare feet.
You were suggesting that Lady Mary was already awake and dressed at 3 o'clock. That she went out by the conservatory door with her suitcase, expecting to meet the murderer of her. Damn it, Wimsey!
We needn't go as far as that. We've decided that she didn't expect to find Cathcart dead.
No. Well, she went presumably to meet somebody.
Shall we say for the moment, she went to meet our number 10?
I suppose we may as well say so. When she turned on the torch and saw the Duke stooping over Cathcart, she thought, good God, Wimsey, I was right after all. When she said you killed him, she meant number 10. She thought it was number 10's body.
Of course! Oh, I'm a blasted fool. Yes, she said, it's Dennis. What's happened? That's quite clear. And meanwhile, what did she do with the suitcase?
I see it all now. When she saw that the body wasn't the body of number 10, she realized that number 10 must be the murderer. So her game was to prevent anybody knowing that number 10 had been there. So she shoved the suitcase behind the cacti. Then, when she went upstairs, she pulled it out again and hid it in the oak chest on the landing. She couldn't take it to her room, of course, because if anybody heard her come upstairs, it would seem odd that she would run to her room before calling the others. Then she alerted Arbuthnot and the Pettigrew Robinsons. She'd be in the dark, and they'd be flustered and wouldn't see exactly what she had on. Then she escaped from Mrs. P, ran into her room, took off the skirt in which she already knelt by Cathcart's side, and the rest of her clothes, and put on her pajamas and the cap, which someone might have noticed, and her coat, which they must have noticed, and the shoes, which had probably left footmarks already. Then she could go down and show herself. Meantime, she concocted the burglar story for the coroner's benefit.
And I suppose she was so desperately anxious to throw us off the scent of number 10 that it never occurred to her that her story was going to help implicate her brother.
She realized it at the inquest. Don't you remember how hastily she grasped at the suicide theory?
And when she found that she was simply saving number 10 in order to hang her brother, she lost her head, took to her bed, and refused to give any evidence at all. Seems to me there's an extra allowance of fools in my family.
Well, what could she have done? Poor girl. Anyway, she's cleared.
After a fashion. But we're not out of the wood by a long way. Why is she hand in glove with number 10, who is at least a blackmailer, if not a murderer? How did Gerald's revolver come onto the scene? And the green-eyed cat? How much did Mary know of the meeting between number 10 and Dennis Cathcart? And if she was seeing and meeting the man, she might have put the revolver into his hands at any time.
Wimsey, don't think such ugly things as that.
Ah, hell, I'll have the truth of this beastly business if we all go to the gallows together.
Telegram, my lord.
Thank you, Bunter. Ah, good egg. Police and State Police seem to have a trace on number 10. Further information, Scotland Yard.
Things are moving along quite nicely.
Indeed. I'll run round to Scotland Yard now, if you wouldn't mind staying here. There's a good man. Bunter, if I'm not back in an hour, serve Mr. Parker dinner. And I think a bottle of the Chateau de Camp.
Very good, my lord.
Toodaloo.
So, that's how the matter stands, you see, Lord Peter. The man was undoubtedly seen at Marylebone on the Friday morning, and, though we have unfortunately lost him again for the moment, I have no doubt whatsoever that we shall lay our hands on him before long.
I'm sure I may leave it to you with every confidence, Sir Andrew. I'm digging away too. Between us we ought to get something. You in your small corner and I in mine, as the hymn says. Or is it a hymn? I remember reading it in a book about missionaries when I was small.
Meanwhile, if you run across the man yourself, let us know. I would never deny your extraordinarily good fortune, or it may be good judgment, in running across the criminals we may be wanting.
Well, if I catch the bloke, I'll come and shriek under your window so you let me in, even if it's the middle of the night and you're in your little nightshirt. And talking of nightshirts reminds me that we hope to see you down at Denver one of these days, as soon as this business is over. Mother sends kind regards, of course.
Thanks very much. I hope you feel that all is going well. I had Parker in here this morning to report, and he seemed a little dissatisfied.
He's been doing a lot of ungrateful routine work and being altogether the fine, sound man he always is. He's been a damn good friend to me, Sir Andrew. It's a real privilege to be allowed to work with him. Well, so long, Chief.
His lordship has not yet returned, my lady, but Mr. Parker is here waiting for him, and we expect him any minute now. Will your ladyship take anything?
No, nothing, thanks. I'll wait. Good evening, Mr. Parker. Where's Peter?
He went to Scotland Yard, Lady Mary. I can't imagine why he isn't back yet.
I knew it. Oh, Mr. Parker, what am I to do? I must see Peter. It's a matter of life and death. Can't you send for him?
But I don't know where he is. Please, Lady Mary.
He's doing something dreadful. He's all wrong. I must see him. Tell him. Oh, did anybody ever get into such dreadful trouble?
Lady Mary, I beg you, please don't. You'll be ill if you cry like that. I'll get you some brandy.
Allow me, sir.
How dare you, Bunter! Go away at once!
Your ladyship better take a drop of brandy. This is the 1800 Napoleon brandy, my lady. Please don't snort so, if I may make the suggestion. His lordship would be greatly distressed to think that any of it should be wasted. Did your ladyship dine on the way up? No? Most unwise, my lady, to undertake such a long journey on a vacant interior. I will take the liberty of preparing an omelette for your ladyship. Perhaps you would like a little snack of something yourself, sir, as it is getting late.
Anything you like. Now, Lady Mary, you're feeling better, aren't you? Let me help you off with your coat.
I am sorry I was so foolish just now, Mr. Parker. But I was dreadfully distressed, and I came up from Riddlesdale so hurriedly.
Not at all. Is there anything I can do in your brother's absence?
I suppose you and Peter do everything together?
I think I might say that neither of us knows anything about this investigation which he has not communicated to the other.
So, if I tell you, it's the same thing?
If you can bring yourself to honor me with your confidence.
Well, I'm in a difficult position. I don't quite know what I ought... Can you tell me just how far you've got, what you've discovered?
I'm afraid that I can't quite tell you that. You see, so much of what we've got is only suspicion, and I might accidentally do great harm to a completely innocent person.
So, you definitely suspect somebody then?
Indefinitely would be a better word for it. But if you have anything to tell us which might throw light on the matter, I beg you to speak. We may be suspecting a totally wrong person.
I shouldn't be surprised. What do you want to know?
You were in Paris last February.
Yes.
Do you recollect going with Captain Cathcart? Oh, by the way, you speak French, I presume?
Yes, very fluently. We always had French governesses as children, and Mother was very particular about it.
I see. Well now, do you remember going with Captain Cathcart on February 6th to a jeweler's in the Rue de l'Épée? And buying, or was buying for you, a tortoiseshell comb set with diamonds, and a diamond and platinum cat with emerald eyes?
Is that the cat you've been making inquiries about in Riddlesdale?
Yes.
It was found in the shrubbery, wasn't it?
Had you lost it? Or was it Cathcart's?
If I said it was his...
I should be ready to believe you. Was it his?
No. It was mine.
When did you lose it?
That night.
Where?
I suppose in the shrubbery. Wherever you found it, I didn't miss it till later.
Is it the one you bought in Paris?
Yes.
Why did you say before that it was not yours?
I was afraid.
And now?
I'm going to speak the truth.
Very well. We shall all be glad of that. For I think there are one or two points at the inquest on which you didn't tell the truth, weren't there?
Yes.
Do believe that I am sorry to have to ask you these questions. The terrible position in which your brother is placed.
In which I helped to place him.
I don't say that.
Well, I do. I helped to put him in jail. Don't say I didn't, because I did.
Well, don't worry, Lady Mary. There's plenty of time to put it all right again. Now, it wasn't true about hearing that shot at 3 o'clock, was it?
No.
Did you hear the shot at all?
Yes.
When?
At 11:50.
What was it then, Lady Mary, that you hid behind the plants in the conservatory?
I didn't hide anything there.
And then the oak chest on the landing?
My skirt.
You went out, why? To meet Cathcart?
Yes.
Who was the other man?
What other man?
The other man who was in the shrubbery. A tall, fair man dressed in Burberry.
There was no other man.
Pardon me, Lady Mary, but we saw his footmarks all the way up from the shrubbery to the conservatory.
It must have been some tramp. I know nothing about him.
But we have proof that he was there, of what he did and how he escaped. For heaven's sake! For your brother's sake, Lady Mary, tell us the truth. For that man in the Burberry was the man who shot Cathcart.
No, that's impossible.
Why impossible?
Because I shot Dennis myself.
Surely it's Lord Peter Wimsey. How are you? And how's Mary?
By Jove, Miss Tarrant. Oh, perfectly ripping to see you again. Absolutely delightful, thank you. Mary ain't as fit as she might be, though. Worrying about this murder business, you know. Yeah, you've heard that we're what the poor so kindly and tactfully call in trouble, I expect, what?
Yes, of course. And of course, as a good socialist, I can't help rejoicing rather when a peer gets taken up. Because it does make him look so silly, you know. And the House of Lords is silly, isn't it? But really, I'd rather it was anybody else's brother. Mary and I were such great friends, you know. And of course, you do investigate things, don't you? Not just live on your estates in the country and shoot birds. So I suppose that makes a difference.
Oh, that's very kind of you. If you can prevail upon yourself to overlook the misfortune of my birth and my other deficiencies, perhaps you would honour me by coming along and having a bit of dinner somewhere, what?
Oh, I'd have loved to, but I've promised to be at the Soviet Club tonight. There's a meeting at 9. Mr. Koch, the Labour leader, is going to make a speech about converting the army and navy to communism. We expect to be raided, and there's going to be a grand hunt for spies before we begin. But look here! You can come along and dine with me there, and if you like, I'll try and smuggle you into the meeting, and you'll be seized and turned out. I suppose I oughtn't to have told you anything about it, because you ought to be a deadly enemy, but I can't really believe you're dangerous.
Oh, I'm just an ordinary capitalist, I expect, highly obnoxious.
Well, come to dinner anyhow. I do so want to hear all the news about Mary. We are such good friends, and it was such a pity she had to give up being a member. She was so dedicated.
Wait, Mary? A member of the Soviet Club?
Of course you'll have to arrest me, or detain me, or whatever you call it. It's what I came for. I'm quite ready to go quietly. That's the right expression, isn't it? I'd like to explain about it, though, first. I ought to have done it long ago, but I'm afraid I lost my head. I didn't realize that Gerald would get blamed. I hoped they'd bring it as a suicide. Do I make a statement to you now? Or do I do it at the police station? They won't punish me so badly if it was an accident, will they?
No, of course not, but no, you're lying to me. Nobody, I know, but it's not worth it. No man could be worth it. Let him go, I implore you. Tell the truth. Don't shield him. If he murdered Dennis Cathcart...
No! There was no other man. How dare you say it or think it? I killed Dennis, I tell you, and you shall believe it. I swear to you, there was no other man.
Sit down, please, Lady Mary. Now, you are determined to make this statement.
I am.
Go on.
On the evening of Wednesday, October 13th, I went upstairs at 9:30. I sat up writing a letter. At 10:15, I heard my brother and Dennis quarreling in the passage. I heard my brother tell him that he was to never speak to me again. I heard Dennis rung out. I did not hear him return. At 11:30, I became alarmed. I changed my dress and went out to try and find Dennis and bring him in. I feared he might do something desperate. After some time, I found him in the shrubbery. I begged him to come in. He refused and told me about my brother's accusation and the quarrel. I was very much horrified, of course. He said what was the good of denying anything, as Gerald was determined to ruin him, and asked me to go away and marry him and live abroad. I said I was surprised that he should suggest such a thing in the circumstances. We both became very angry. I said, "Come in now. Tomorrow you can leave by the first train." He seemed almost crazy. He pulled out a pistol and said that he'd come to the end of things, that his life was ruined, that we were a lot of hypocrites, and that I never cared for him, or I shouldn't have minded what he'd done. Then he said that if I wouldn't come with him, it was all over, that he might as well be hanged for a sheep as a lamb. He'd shoot me and himself. I think he was quite out of his mind. He pulled out a revolver. I caught his hand. We struggled. I got the muzzle right up against his chest, and either I pulled the trigger or it went off by itself. I'm not clear which. It was all in such a whirl. He wasn't quite dead. I helped him up. We struggled back nearly to the house. He fell once.
Why did you not leave him and run to the house to fetch help?
It didn't occur to me. It was a nightmare. I could only think of getting him along. I think I wanted him to die. He did die. He died at the door. I went to the conservatory and sat down. I sat for hours and tried to think. I hated him for being a cheat and a scoundrel. I'd been taken in, you see, made a fool of. I was glad he was dead. I must have sat there for hours without a coherent thought. It wasn't until my brother came along that I realized what I'd done, and that I might have been suspected of murdering him. I was simply terrified. I made up my mind all in a moment that I'd pretend I knew nothing, that I heard a shot and come down.
Why, Lady Marian? Did you say, "Oh God, Gerald, you've killed him"?
I never said that. I said, "Good God, Gerald, he's killed then." I never meant to suggest anything but suicide.
But you admitted to those words at the inquest.
Yes, by that time I decided on the burglar story, you see.
Have you ever known a sincere emotion to express itself in a subordinate clause?
Joyce has freed us from a superstition of syntax.
Scenes which make emotional history should ideally be expressed in a series of animal squeals.
The T.H. Lawrence formula.
Or even Dada.
We need a new notation.
We need it now. Now.
I say, do you know you're dipping your beads in your soup?
Oh, am I? Thank you so much, especially as the colour runs. I hope it isn't arsenic or anything. Anyways, one misses your sister very much. Her wonderful enthusiasm. She spoke so well at meetings. She had such a real sympathy with the worker.
That seems astonishing to me, seeing Mary's never had to do a stroke of work in her life.
But she did work. She worked for us. Marvelously. She was secretary to our propaganda society for nearly 6 months. And then she worked so hard for Mr. Goyles, to say nothing of her nursing in the war. Of course, I don't approve of England's attitude in the war. But nobody would say the work wasn't hard.
Who is Mr. Goyles?
George is one of our leading speakers. Quite young, but the government is terrified of him. I expect he'll be here tonight. He's been lecturing in the north, but I believe he's back now.
Do be careful, your beads are in your plate again.
Are they? Well, perhaps they'll flavour the mutton. I'm afraid the cooking isn't very good here, but the subscription's so small, you see. I wonder why Mary never told you about Mr. Goyles. They were so very friendly, you know, some time ago. Everybody was sure she was going to marry him, but it seemed to fall through. And then your sister left town. Do you know about it?
So that was the fellow then. Yes, well, my people didn't altogether like it, you know. Thought Mr. Goyles wasn't quite the son-in-law they'd take to. Family row and so on. Wasn't there myself. Besides, Mary'd never listened to me. Still, that's what I gathered.
Another instance of the absurd, old-fashioned tyranny of parents. You wouldn't think it was possible in these post-war times.
I don't know that you could exactly call it that. Not parents, exactly. My mother's a remarkable woman. I don't think she interfered. In fact, I fancy she wanted to ask Mr. Goyles to Denver. But my brother put his foot down.
How was that any of his business?
On account of my late father's circumscribed ideas of what's owing to women, my brother has the handling of Mary's money till she marries with his consent. I don't say it's a good plan. I think it's a rotten plan. But there it is all the same.
Monstrous, barbarous, simply feudal, you know. But, after all, what's money?
Oh, nothing, of course. But if you've been brought up to having it, it's a bit awkward to drop it suddenly. Like balls, you know.
I can't understand how it could have made any difference to Mary. She liked being a worker. We once tried living in a workman's cottage for 8 weeks, 5 of us, on 18 shillings a week. It was a marvellous experience. On the edge of the New Forest.
In the winter?
Well, no. We thought we'd better not begin with winter. But we had 9 wet days, and the kitchen chimney smoked all the time. You see, the wood came out of the forest, so it was all damp.
I see. Must have been uncommonly interesting.
It was an experience I shall never forget. One felt so close to the earth and the primitive things. If only we could abolish industrialism. I'm afraid, though, we shall never get it put right without a bloody revolution, you know. It's very terrible, of course, but salutary and inevitable. I say, there is Mr. Goyles.
He looks an interesting fella. Will you introduce me?
Oh, of course. I'll fetch him. Hello, George! I say, there's a friend of mine who you just have to meet. He's a capitalist, but I'm working on him. Lord Peter Wimsey. Oh, extraordinary! As soon as I mention your name, he says he has another appointment, but surely he can't be
Excuse me.
Peter, where are you going?
Clouds of Witness by Dorothy L. Sayers was adapted for radio by Tristan Berlet. It featured Jackson Anselmo, Tristan Berlet, Felicity Davis, Will Devary, Kyle Krempasky, Hannah Hughes, Brianna Lowe, Alex Maceira, Jordan Orlando, Himadri Seth, Michael Tricca, and Connor White. Audio mixing by Will Hopper, Thomas Scrolly, and Josh Stein. Music by Charlie Banta. Graphic design by Alex Maceira. Directed by Tristan Berlet, Tyler Janess, and Brianna Lowe. Executive producer, Jay Bradley. This was a TNT radio production.